We got the sounds from the pit, straight out the box, baby. That's it, the sounds from the pit, making that bird noise. Go get it, the sounds from the pit, straight out the box, baby. That's it, the sounds from the pit, no covers, Loren. Hey yo, it's your boy Default with another episode from Sounds from the Pit. We at the wrap-up session, the end of the first season. So just want to thank you guys for tuning in. I got my family here with me, so I'm going to try not to say too much. You know, as you get older, you get a little long in the tooth. So I want them to really express. We're going to go over some things, wrap up the season, but say hi to the people, greet them, and do what y'all do.
Peace, everybody. Wagwan. It's your lioness born here. I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported and bless you, and we love you, and keep giving us feedback and tuning in and sending in your suggestions and the love. Thank you.
Thank you for your eyes. Thank you for your ears. This is a key, Jamal. We appreciate your attention and your energy. And listen, we needed this, and we think you all needed this. And so the feedback we've gotten has been an affirmation of all of that, right? And so I promise you, it's only going to get better, and you're partly responsible for that. That feedback that we get from you, trust me, we take it to heart.
Yes.
Yo, this is Dennis. You already know what it is. I'm just here, so happy that we're wrapping this season up, but I'm even more excited about season 2 and the other seasons to come. Stick close. I promise you, Sound from the Pit has a lot of light and love and just big Pittsburgh energy to put out to you all and to the world. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the guests who have been on the shows, on the episodes that we've interviewed. We truly appreciate you all. And then everyone who's watched and shared and has given us feedback, we thank you all too. Let's get into this wrap-up session.
Yes, sir. So my portion, at least initially, I just wanted to talk about the process and how we came together. And what I want my family to talk about is the episodes. So what do we gain? Do we learn we still at the same? Do we have a sound? Don't we have a sound based on the guests that we had? We had some rich conversation. Those who have tuned in would agree with that. They have already said about the feedback has been tremendous, both the critiques and the positive feedbacks. So I'll let you guys talk about that, what we think.
Was there a consensus, do we think, as to whether or not people believe that we have a sound or believe that we don't? I didn't check it off. This person thinks they do, but it felt like the overwhelming consensus was, well, not overwhelming consensus. Felt like it at least slightly tipped toward, no, we do not.
Okay.
And did you all experience that as you were reviewing episodes? Yeah, I see you shaking. Go ahead.
I was constantly yelling like, "Oh, the sound of Pittsburgh is excellent. Oh, the sound of Pittsburgh is." It seems like we still have a lot more unpacking to do to figure out. There's a lot more conversations that need to take place, and we need to bring a larger pool of artists into the conversation, I think, before we decide if there is a sound. It seems like there's definitely an attitude. There's definitely a skill set. There is an overall grind that Pittsburgh artists have, but the sound, we got Dwayne is an amazing musician, but he's Europe, East Coast, New York. How can we have a Pittsburgh sound when this man's all over Europe and New York? How how can we have a sound when you play gospel music for every artist from the South to the North to
the East
overseas,
to the West,
and you have to stay ready as a musician?
Dennis, maybe you could answer that.
Look, he's in deep thought. We
I
can
know,
really
right? We're about to listen.
We're
just gonna relax. I'm gonna put my mic down.
The philosophy is about to come, y'all. Hold on.
I think what we need to do is identify, like, let's take our attention off of Pittsburgh for a minute and identify a region, a city, state, and if that we say has a sound.
Mm-hmm.
It could be DC, Atlanta, Houston,
Philly.
Philly. If they have a sound, what defines their sound? Like how do what for us is saying they have a sound, and what is that sound? And then let's peel back the layers and say, well, does Pittsburgh have that? Those elements that create the definition
That's
of
good,
that
man.
sound.
Yes.
So
That's good.
okay. I don't disagree with that, but something recently was spoken that resonates with me across every area of my life that I realize I need to apply this perspective.
Mhm.
The why is always more important than the what or the how. What you're talking about is the what. Why? I think is more important.
I think
Because
I asked
what
why.
I've
Sorry to
heard-
interject. I think I asked
Go
why,
ahead.
right? So here's the why. Why do we identify those elements as creating the sound?
So here's what I think. is
Mhm.
Why, my focus goes to why do we lack? Right?
Do we
I
lack?
I think we comparatively lack based on what you're referring to.
I
as
agree
the
with you.
sound
I
of the
believe we
air.
lack,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
But so I believe that
Why
we
do
lack.
we lack?
But I'm a musician, right? I'm an artist here in the city. I believe that we lack a sound here, but it's kind of it's real easy, I think, for us to talk, but the talk gets lofty to me if you don't have someone or have if you don't have the bullseye.
Okay.
Like you can just be aiming in the dark. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about okay, we identify the lack. Let's talk about, where we need to go towards, but what's going to be that focal point? You know what I mean? It's for me it's like there's a lot of people in here that talk about, production and they talk about industry. But if you don't know how to run a record label, then you know what I mean? Like how can you
Right.
you can say, oh, we don't have a record label here. Okay, cool. Well, what that's lacking. So what's a record label then? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like what's a record label? Tell me the element, tell me the departments, or tell me the basic key components of a record label, and then let's go ahead and begin to say, do we have that here? Do we have people who specialize or who are willing to put in the work? Do we have people who are already doing that? And that's why I think we're in the same conversation about sound. Let's identify a city that has
But
sound.
you said the word. I can't pinpoint the audible sound, metaphorically speaking. What out of these 8 sessions, identity is a term. You said identify. There is an identity, a swag, mainly in the jazz community, of the sound of Pittsburgh. Can we label it go-go? Can we label it neo-soul? Can we label
It's
it East?
just jazz. In the historical traditional sense, we are one of the cities who is keeping that alive.
Yeah.
Can we claim it all for Pittsburgh? We can claim to be the keepers.
So where
One
I
of
was
the
getting to,
keepers.
you said about the industry, record label. So I don't know how big, but I understand that Con Alma now is a record label.
Right. Right.
Say
And
that-
I heard
repeat that
they've
for me,
even
Dwayne.
Con Alma.
Okay.
and I've heard they even have a couple people that signed.
Yeah,
Oh.
Then I heard, is it called the Oaklander?
the
It's a
Oaklander.
new studio. Is they're moving in the same direction?
Manchester Craftsman's Guild has a record label.
Manchester's. But I believe that has to happen to be for
To establish.
Yeah, to establish is the word. Whatever that sound or that uniqueness of Pittsburgh is. I think the identity, the swag, the feel, the it that you can't really describe resides here. I've heard it. I've seen it. I felt it. Can I identify it? Can we claim it yet? That's what I'm still wrestling with.
I really feel like, to what Dennis said about the label and the different parts that are missing, to form a collective. I think what sets other cities apart, if we just say New York, because we're directly connected to New York through jazz, through hip hop,
Everything.
everything. So if we say the only difference is early on, people said, "Hey, this might be our sound. Let's start collecting and putting this sound on display and label it as New York." And I think that is where, as Pittsburgh, we are lacking because we haven't had a collection of music and artists archived, so to speak, where we can say, oh, like the Bronx, like hip hop, like we had them, but nobody is saying this is Pittsburgh music. That's, to me, that's something that just started happening within the last 15
Well,
years.
let's be real. So let's just be all the way 100 with this, okay? And it's not to discredit the artists out here that we can identify, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers out here can identify a lot of the people who we've even interviewed fall in this category. And I think this is one of the reasons why, Brother Fulton has created this podcast. But I don't personally feel like you create a sound with cover music.
Oh, no.
Well,
And Pittsburgh
keep that
and
pause.
Pittsburgh has
Keep
with
that-
its personality in the last 25 years, 30 years, to me, been a very, very, very strong arm in cover music.
So
Like a resort town.
So to those artists who reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I ain't good enough to be on your podcast." So we only had guests that have original music that they've released, not that they wrote and they haven't released it yet, that they have released. So I wanted to get that out to my musicians and my artists and my singers who asked the question why they haven't been invited yet. We got another season. So Dennis brought that up because if you're just doing cover music, it doesn't create a unique or your own sound.
So is it, Dennis, and you'll have to school me on this, all three of you. Is it just that, or is it that so many of the original sound makers either aren't identified and appreciated and therefore either just can continue to fly under the radar or get up and leave and have no desire to say, by the way, I came here from Pittsburgh?
I think
teacher.
definitely two of those.
I don't think a lot of us artists are proud
To be from Pittsburgh, or
be
just
from
proud of what we
Pittsburgh.
do?
They're proud of the Steelers
Yeah.
because why? We're winners, right?
Right.
So Pittsburghers carry Pittsburgh Steelers everywhere.
Right.
Well, the question that came
So why
out,
aren't we proud?
even the people who have left and blown up, you were talking about the Bronx. You will hear the streets, the corners,
Yes.
the candy shops
Yes.
in their music.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't talking. I ain't heard nobody talk about. There might be. Randy spoke about that with a lot of our white brothers, the rock groups, that they rep Pittsburgh pretty well. But in urban, and that's I put quotes around that. In urban music, we don't hear Under the Kaufman's Clock, or I'm dating myself.
Right.
We don't hear
Down there by
down by
Kimball's.
Candy Rama. Or
Well, you know what?
You know what I
I just
mean?
want to interject and say it's not gospel music, but I think that some of people that I love who started early in hip hop, the government, S Money, Hard Times, Young Nizzy, that whole crew, the guys from Born Rich, they're from Larmer Avenue. They were some
Shout
of
out
the
to the
early,
government real quick because she just shouted them out.
my brothers.
Y'all missed it.
Early on, they started repping Pittsburgh, the inner city. Now it is hip hop. There was a lot of violence. Also, there were young artists who were trying to make a transition from living a street life and they had nowhere else to turn. And they looked at these young men like, oh, well, if they can do this. I think oftentimes people don't support Pittsburgh artists for whatever reason, for a multiplicity of reasons. And I think that also reflects on us having a sound and having a history. And having that support where people are like, oh, these are our people from the inner city in Pittsburgh. We're going to support these guys. I feel like oftentimes outside of the jazz and gospel, and it could be that way, but I feel like oftentimes people don't go further because of support. And then when they do go further, they're so disenfranchised that they don't want to rep Pittsburgh.
Right.
They don't want to say, I started here.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Well, there's some baby boomers who have already expressed that we'll be on season 2, that even back in the Renaissance, civil rights, that Pittsburgh was known as the land of dream killers, the land of giant killers. So if you had a giant dream, there was this attack on it, and it still resides.
A regional demon
today.
Is that?
I mean, we don't want to get to that, but I mean that's coming from I forget his name, who is a historian of Pittsburgh culture and a lover of Pittsburgh jazz.
Listen, man, let me interject here.
Go ahead, D.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this before I forget. It would be really interesting if all of a sudden we, the artists, just flip the script on the community, where starting in 2023, we all were just like, from now on, every gig we did, we are going to do 90% original music.
Dude, I am loving this, boy.
Wow.
And 10% cover tunes.
Boy,
Woo.
that's a challenge. That's a challenge right
Can we
there.
do it, Pittsburgh?
I wonder what would happen if we just flipped it. Because someone asked me a question. They were just like, yo, Pittsburgh cover tune, I mean, that's because people support it. They want to hear cover music. But from my experience, the audience only digest what you serve.
Right.
They become addicts of the meal you serve them.
Right.
And then it
Told you
becomes
he's a
easy for
philosopher,
us because it's convenient. Yo,
That's
we can
good,
just
Dennis.
keep putting out cover music. We don't got to rehearse it no more.
That's
We don't got to get together and make it, you know,
Boy.
reinvent the wheel. We can just keep on giving them what they want. The restaurant owners, the lounges, the promoters, they're going to keep cutting the check for the same
For the
meal.
same set.
So-
D.
Same
That's
set
so
over and
sad.
over again. But so people love music. It's no trick. Pittsburghers love music. They always
Yes.
have.
Always
It's
will.
not
Yes.
like they're going to not love music anymore.
Right.
Just retrain the taste buds.
Dennis.
Stop doing cover
Wow.
music 100% of your show.
So the other side
Don't
of that
just,
challenge.
don't just
Wow.
eliminate
right,
it.
right.
Right.
Don't eliminate it
limit
altogether.
Right.
No.
But
Right,
let's just all take a vow to just be like, listen, we're going to do 90% original music, and then let the supporters, let the cards fall where they lay.
So the other side of
We've
that challenge,
done the
though,
cover
Dennis,
thing. We've done it for 30
Ad
years
nauseam.
now.
We have.
We've done it. It's pushed the culture forward. It hasn't pushed the
Dennis,
concept.
that's
The
the answer,
concept.
man.
The concept is upwards and onwards. What we've done is a whole lot of work to push it onwards by
yeah.
staying in the game. We haven't done our job to push it upwards and to raise the standard.
Yeah.
Here's one way: stop doing so much cover music.
Yeah.
No matter how good or how bad you think it is, if they like it or if they don't, feed Pittsburgh original music. Let's see how that
We can
goes.
ready to wrap that
All
up
right.
on that. I don't know
Hit
how
these
far
open
we
mics
can go
and get it
with
together.
that.
That out.
Hey. Hey. I mean, how do you create a sound if you ain't doing original material?
period.
And I love the classics too. I ain't got nothing to add to that, bro. I think that challenges us.
Mm-hmm.
That really wraps the session up. That causes contemplation. Cause listen, shameless plug. I just got this whole thing of just whatever ideas come, throw it out. We had to talk off camera. I'm just throwing it out. Whatever sticks. If you hate it, if it sucks, if it's trash, oh well, I'm on to the next. So I got this project, and it's old school, but it's funky, y'all. It's called Folks Funk. Folks Funk
Senior moment.
Senior Moment. No, Folks Funk. Edit that out a little bit.
Take two.
Folks Funk Factory.
Nice.
and I'm trying to get a collaboration, but it's what Dennis said. Listen, I don't want to die with a vault of ideas because I'm
Amen.
scared of the rejection.
Die empty.
I wish I could cuss right now of the people who were rejected, but the whole thing is what he said. I mean, I'm not going to water it down and mess it up by adding to that. I mean, that was excellent. It has to happen, or we'll never have an identifiable, distinct sound that we can claim. Oh,
And then here's
yo,
the
that's
thing.
a
Let me
Pittsburgh
be
sound.
let me be clear too, because I'm still us. I'm still one of us. I'm an artist here. Y'all know all day. If you see importance and value in pushing the standard
Right.
of the Pittsburgh culture of music,
Right.
if all you want is just somebody to cut a check and just be a performer on stage, then cool. It's not even. I'm not talking to you. If you feel no conviction to really make way for the next generation, all these young lions coming up here, doing R&B now. There's R&B scene is getting larger and larger.
Yep.
The jazz scene is getting larger and more diverse. Like if the hip hop and trap rap scene is getting larger and diverse. I mean, people are making these producers everywhere making beats, getting free beats off YouTube just so that they can just put their sound out there and put their voice and their spirit out there in the music. If you don't see value in raising the standard and raising the bar for the Pittsburgh culture, keep doing 30 cover tunes per show. Keep on doing. I'm not gonna name any artists because I want.
No name
Keep on
dropping.
doing the same songs.
Who you talking about locally?
Those same 20 to 30 songs and of those same artists and do that and just stay in the game to push it forward. But if you really want to see yourself truly make an impact, not just for today, but for tomorrow, and be a trailblazer to see Pittsburgh become something that we've all envisioned it to be, our forefathers have envisioned it to be,
Jump out there.
just take the leap of faith.
Yep.
Cut your set list to 10% cover tunes and 90% originals. People will still love music. Now you'll just have to force them to find the songs that they like,
Come on now.
the originals that they
Come on now.
like.
That's good.
The
D.
other side of that is consumer be ready to receive and appreciate that which is new.
Yes.
And be honest, I'm not, if it's bad, don't put out no bad stuff. I mean, far as
Don't
quality,
support
you
anything
like
that's
what
not
you
of quality.
like, but I'm talking about we want to put out quality original music.
That's the hope.
That's the hope.
That's the hope.
That's my expectation.
That's the hope.
So y'all,
Yeah.
that I get it. Yeah, we hoping, but that's my expectation.
No, that's the hope.
What's you guys' final thoughts as
I
we
think
wrap up?
a synergy needs to be created.
Come on, preacher. Don't
A
be scared of the
synergy.
mic.
We need to have a synergy again and create an energy around Pittsburgh creatives and songwriters and musicians and everything happens within. If we have a regional demon, then we got to have a spirit that overcomes
That's
that.
right. Support,
So
right?
we're missing a live performance venue where people are coming and trying it out. Every major city that's constantly producing has that. Maybe we need to recapture that. Maybe we need to have sounds from the pit open mic or something like that for professionals.
Okay.
I just
You
heard
add more work.
I
huh?
just I heard a couple voices in my head real quick that of musician friends of mine who I constantly bounce ideas off of, and I got to say this as well, because whether you do cover music or you do original music, it's only going to really mean something. It's only going to stick if you're really putting in the work to actually give the audience a show.
A show.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Now, that's a whole nother conversation
Season 2, episode 1.
that we can talk about on
And it's
another
a show.
episode.
Not just singing
but-
and playing the licks, but
But
putting on the show,
minutes.
right?
no matter how good you sing or how good you rap, your stage presence as a performer
Amen.
has to be in line with the concept of entertainment. This is the entertainment business.
That's good.
Your show has to be entertaining.
Yes.
Which is why you can be like a partially good singer, but if you
Right.
sing that crowd's favorite song,
Right.
you can sing half the song. They're going to carry the song for you.
Right.
Yep.
That's the
You don't
truth.
even got to be a great singer. Just sing their song, and
That's the truth.
they'll love you because you sang their song.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be a halfway good singer, but just have bomb stage presence,
Oh my God.
Appeal.
Yes.
Yes, sir. There's a whole lot of major artists
and
like
you'll
that.
constantly
Most of 'em.
captivate audiences, and people will want to support you because you're giving them a show.
Yes.
Right. Like,
That's
and do
good.
it. Like, y'all mentioned it
All right, I'm done.
during the ladies' night episode.
Mhm.
Is perform like you have reached the audience you've been dying to reach for every
Wow.
night.
Wow.
Y'all
Check
talked
yourself
about,
on
yeah,
that.
check yourself on
Check
that.
yourself
Like,
on
listen,
that.
We get into a whole nother
perform
conversation
like-
right now.
perform like this is the Academy Awards, and they giving you your shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the, you know what I'm saying? This is the Grammys.
Which
This is the
speaks
giving
to
you
what
your
he's
shot.
saying, that every time you sing a note, play a note, whether it's 200, 1,000, one person in the audience,
Period.
it's always
This is so
an
a whole nother
audition.
conversation right now,
Yes.
because then we
It's
had to talk
always
about
an
this.
audition.
There's a lot of people out here who don't have it. Like, they sing very well, but they just don't have the ability to have that stage alter ego.
That
So
factor.
Alter ego is
right,
another thing.
right, or
Mhm.
that stage ambiance and that personality. I get that. Maybe you need artist development. Maybe you need to
Mhm.
sit
That's
down.
one
Maybe,
branch of a
not
record
maybe.
label.
I'm just
Not maybe.
listen. I'm just trying to. I love y'all. Maybe you need to sit down and get with
And get that.
someone who can help you develop that, so that you can be prepared for the opportunity.
Yes.
That's good. Dennis.
Or maybe you have the stage presence, like, yo, I can really connect to the audience. I love being in front of people, but
You need
you
vocal
sing.
lessons.
Yeah, you
materials.
need a little bit of vocal lessons.
Mm-hmm.
You can get with somebody, and now we start talking about the true culture, and now we're creating an industry here where we can now
That's good,
identify the people we can put the pieces together because of
Hey.
the strengths that individuals have to help create the culture here and to create the collective and bring out the biggest artists that Funk Factory can be, and to bring out the
Mhm.
biggest artists that y'all line this, and we can bring the best out, because
Yes.
now we can trust the team and the
Right.
people around the artist to really bring the artist out and bring a show and a
Yes.
production out of them. All right, I'm done. I
That
can
boy-
go
that
on. I
boy
ain't
This
gonna-
boy-
That
Yeah.
boy
That boy
good.
good.
Hey, producers getting us. Hey, I'm gonna let, since you've been, more quiet.
Okay.
Final thoughts, words.
To wrap up what everyone has said, as an artist, you are primarily responsible for creating the atmosphere in which you intend to perform. You don't show up and look for it, and if it ain't there, you disappointed. Create it
That's
once
it.
you get there.
You got
Period.
the power.
Yes.
Love it. Hey,
Amen and Ashe.
we gonna add. I just want to go around, shout out to all our guests that we had on. Lest we forget, or we went through them. Let's shout them
Miss
out.
Anita Levels.
The ladies' night with the three.
Amazing.
Erica and my girl.
Loren,
My niece,
Yes.
right.
Loren.
Loren.
No covers.
No covers, baby. The Bill Henry Band. Rest in peace
Rest in
again.
peace, Big Flip.
Rest in peace.
Who else? We
Flip.
The Bridge.
The Bridge. My brothers.
Jigga Johnson. James, what up, bro?
James Johnson the
producer,
third.
drummer, and Whammo.
Come on
Sly Jock.
The old school
Nick
Whammo.
Nice.
Come on.
now. Come on now.
Nick Nice.
And you just popped off
Jay
Cam
Stone.
and Rich, right?
Cam.
Cam and Rich just
Cam
popped,
and
man.
Oh,
Rich.
Hutch.
That's right. I see you, Hutch.
We
Who else?
can't
Who did we
forget
represent on the gospel on the gospel side?
Trinity, of course.
Trinity
Massey, the one and
Massey.
only.
Trinity Twin.
Pastor
Deborah
Deborah
Moncrief.
Deborah.
Keith
I know it's
Moncrief.
Deborah.
Deborah. Get it right.
Queen
Deborah.
Moncrief.
Pastor Deborah
Thanks for the ride,
Moncrief.
lady.
And
Sis, Nikki.
Nikki.
Sis.
Wow.
Nikki Porter.
Nikki
Thank
Smith
you
Porter.
guys. And we
Yes.
can't
Porter.
forget the ultimate, Uncle Roger Humphrey.
Uncle Roger.
Oh,
Humphrey.
man.
Roger.
The Godfather.
This man.
The Godfather.
Yes, sir.
I was trying to
Yes.
find the big enormous words like
Right.
Dennis.
Right, right,
You guys
right.
speak so eloquently, the words. But thank
Right.
y'all. Just to give you
Hey.
a glimpse of some of the episodes we'll do. We'll continue to do music. We got a lineup of other artists. We're going to go to some venues: Con Alma, August Wilson, Kelly Strayhorn. We're going to interview the Pittsburgh playwrights, and the hip hop folks, rappers. You're more than the sound; it's a whole culture. So we wanted to really talk about how we wanted to capsulize the segments, probably with you for the next season. So we didn't leave you out, brothers and sisters.
Wait a minute, Fool. We got to thank you. You brought us all
Come on
together.
now.
We've been working on this
maestro,
for
the
2
mastermind.
decades, it feels like.
I know,
Come
right?
on
We
now.
finally came together
Big
with
brother
a
Fold.
wonderful crew, and we have to pay tribute to you for
Thanks for including us.
yes, for having the vision.
Hey, y'all could have said no. The fact, I mean, like, God had favor. We didn't really pay for anything. That our camera crews, no one's getting paid, y'all.
Yet.
I want.
Yet.
Not yet. On our last go around real quick. What you working on for 2023?
Got some new music coming out with Super C, Zingather, Piff, Shade Cobain, and Ogami. I'm working on a memoir called The Handbook on Becoming.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. So listen, I'd love to see your manuscript and
Word.
come on now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah, you know I know. And
It's
listen,
my brother.
even without Dennis saying what project he's working on, whenever you all decide you're gonna do launch and release parties, that's my next gig. Is the MC, right? So
Word.
y'all let me know,
You already
and then
know.
you'll know what my next project is.
And you know
You
this.
already
Yes.
Little drummer boy, pocket protector.
I'm currently working on my freshman project as a drummer. Been working with a few producers to get it done. Just it's a really exciting process to be putting out a project of my own. It's called the title of the project will be Solar Lunar, because I feel like an equal connection to the light within both the sun and the moon.
He's so deep.
And I think the music will embody that energy. I'm a big fan of I think the musical artistry and inspiration of people like Yanni, Chris Bodie, man, I mean, even people here like James Johnson, and so Quincy Jones.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a collective. It's a collective, one of those collaboration, collective kind of projects where you'll hear a little bit of everything: country, rock, hip hop, gospel, inspirational, jazz, all on one project. All the songs written by myself, produced and arranged by myself, and the help from a few other people on the project. So look for that. The single, I can't tell y'all which one because I haven't narrowed down, but 2 songs are already done on the project. The first single will be released top of 2023. So be looking out for Solar Lunar, and you'll see the promotion for it starting in December.
Big ups, y'all. So I'm working on a lot. Matter of fact, I heard one of the singles. I'm surprised he hasn't released it. He pulled me in after rehearsals into his car.
I forgot about
I need
that.
you to listen to that. Banging. And I'm not saying I wouldn't say nothing if I didn't think so. It's a banger. Back to musical theater. I'm composing with a lot of playwrights. Shantytown is coming out in February at the Heinz Center. Also with Damascus, we're doing From Change to Gain also in February. And then I'm doing a Journey of Soul music at the Kelly Strayhorn all February 2023. Moving forward, one of my challenging compositions is an opera on Bumpy Johnson. It's called The Ballad of Bumpy Johnson. And that's going to be in New Jersey with the Trilogy Opera Company. So we doing our thing, y'all.
Nice.
We doing our thing. And so stay tuned. We'll see you next season. We got something in our glasses, y'all. You know, we got a toast on this last hit. So I want to say, not because they're just on as co-hosts with me, that I love y'all all. And
We love you
wish
too, bro.
nothing but the best in your personal endeavors. Thank you for making this a reality. It was great. So salute.
Salute.
Merry
Love you right back,
Christmas.
brother.
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
All of that.
Sounds from the pit, baby.
Come on.
We out.
We got the sounds from the pit.